Okay.
Heidi's checking her notes. So
I'm checking my notes. My poor little noodle today can't hold all the information, so I will be reading part of it.
we have really important stuff to tell you today. So,
So
listen up.
This
Heidi's
part I
speaking.
know, and I've known for years, but I wanted to just, I know a lot of people don't know it, but in heavy metals and antibiotic use in meat. Okay, so,
Yeah.
and I found this out years ago because I got really sick years ago from heavy metals. There's arsenic typically in chicken. I know there's been big lawsuits about it. So I know some of the additives in chicken feed that contained arsenic have been cut back, but not all of them necessarily. So a really good idea.
It's like a heavy
arsenic.
metal.
They put it in the feed so that when the chicken gets all chopped up and it's in the grocery store, it looks nice and pink and fresh.
Oh, gross.
Plus, heavy metals make you grow fatter faster. So, just like antibiotics do.
So that's why the chickens now are massive.
Massive,
They used to
yeah.
be like small, and now
Yes.
like those.
So they don't feed hormones to chicken in Canada. They do in the States and other countries, but not in Canada. But they do feed them, like I said, not everybody anymore, but there was arsenic in the litter. And what happened too was because rice fields are fertilized with chicken poop.
Oh, God.
Then there was really high levels of arsenic in the poop, and that was going on the rice fields.
Yeah, there was a big lawsuit.
Yeah, big lawsuits in the States about it.
With the rice
And
growers.
rice normally uptakes, as a plant, it normally uptakes rice 4 times higher than any other plant to
arsenic.
begin with. Arsenic, sorry. It uptakes arsenic from the ground.
So
4
it
times
already
more
has.
So it already has high levels of arsenic. And then you add this chicken poop that's laced with arsenic and turns into the dangerous form of arsenic when it hits the ground.
You mean there's a safe form and
There's an organic form which is safe and an inorganic form, and the companies said that what they were putting in the chicken feed was safe because it was the organic form, but what they found out was when it hits the ground, it gets changed into the inorganic, dangerous kind, and it's really harmful for us and has all kinds of related health issues. Anyway, so that's just arsenic. There's also antibiotics. So antibiotics are fed so routinely to animals now that in 2013 the CDC,
Center for Disease
the Centers for Disease Control concluded, and this is where I'm going to read it, concluded that as much as 22% of antibiotic resistant illness in humans is actually linked to food. So we eat the meat that's been fed the antibiotics, which breeds us being antibiotic resistant. And so that's why we have all these superbugs that antibiotics aren't responding to anymore. And they say that in probably 10 years, antibiotics will be phased out completely because they won't be working anymore. And it's because of the antibiotics they're putting in the meat we eat.
Did you say about the 80%?
No, so here we go.
Check this out. Oh my God.
So agriculture accounts for 80% of all antibiotics used in the US. That's tens of millions of pounds of antibiotics being fed to animals every year. 80%, tens of millions of pounds. And more than 80 different antibiotics are allowed in cow's milk. 80.
80 in cow's milk? Like giving one cow 80 different antibiotics?
Seriously. Yeah. And routinely.
Like what? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
And they say it's, to reduce disease and all that, but come on, they're doing it in factory farms where disease is rampant because it's factory farming.
Yeah.
But really the goal is antibiotics, if you have consistent low dose antibiotics over a period of time, and they'll do this to us as well, they make you grow really big, really fast. So they make you gain weight fast. So they produce more meat.
Okay, so we want to say that, firstly, we are not saying that you shouldn't eat meat. You know what? There's no such thing as one thing works for everybody. No one size fits all thing.
Yeah. It doesn't work for less people. I know for me, I'm a O blood type. I was vegetarian for on and off for over 10 years. And then again, for another 3 to 5 years, I was vegan and I got really sick from it. It didn't work for me. So I actually had to go back to eating meat again. And
I ate meat for a long time and just recently I was a vegetarian in university, but whatever. So I went back to being a vegetarian recently because it's working for me now. It did not work for me last year.
Yeah.
So you know what?
And that's me too. I have phases, right? For a while it would work, and then I just knew I had to go back to eating again. So anyway,
so for me, it doesn't work to eat meat right now. But here, like, what do you do if you eat meat and you want to eat meat?
It's about better choices. It's always about making better choices, and we're always pro, buy from a local farmer that you know what goes into the cows, you know how the cows are raised, you know what they're
or
fed,
ask
and ask, always ask.
Yeah, like I don't think I would take for granted that just because they're local,
just because it's local doesn't mean they don't need all of their
hopefully
animals,
they just adhere to certain standards, but kind of make this a two-way conversation. Kind of empower yourself and have a conversation with the farmer or the butcher and say, hey, tell me more about this farm. How do you feed? What do you feed?
Ultimately, that's what changes things, because the more us as consumers, the more we ask for it, the more we get it.
So what should you be asking? Asking what are they feeding?
Yeah.
And how
is there antibiotics in the feed? We don't have to worry about hormones up here in Canada. But is there antibiotics in the feed and anywhere in the supply chain? And you want to know too what they do. If it's cows, if one of the cows are sick, what do? Do they needle them? If they needle them, do they needle them? Because you're going to be eating whatever they're fed.
Yeah, so just ask. And the farmers will tell you. They're going to be really proud of the ethical practices.
Yes. The farmers that don't do that, that do the ethical practices, they will tell you. They'll be happy to tell you because they're doing that for a really good reason.
Yeah.